Hey there, good morning. Just a little bit early. I wasn't actually going to spend much time doing any foam rolling this morning, but I think since we're here about 2 or 3 minutes early, it's a great way to spend our time. And I think we'll do a little bit of reactive foam rolling. So reactive foam rolling is going to be the back side of the body. It's the tightness that comes from training. Proactive would therefore be setting yourself up for success. So reactive is pretty appropriate for a Monday morning. It's no accident that Mobility Monday happens on Mondays. We're here the Monday after St. George World Championship, Ironman World Championship. What an amazing performance from those athletes. So congratulations massively to anybody who did that this weekend. You are heroes, and just hopefully saw the finish line. For those of you that didn't get to the finish line, but were brave enough to do the work and toe the line, you should also be very, very proud of yourself and keep moving forward. That's the Ironman mantra, keep moving forward. I believe in it. I love the PTO, I love challenge. Ironman is kind of where it all began, so I'm definitely a fan there as well. So let's get that foam roller just at the base of the calf muscle. And if you did some good work this weekend, you're going to feel that. So a little bit of tension using the foam roller and just gravity pushing your leg into the foam roller. And then let's go ahead and just work some function with flossing. So just toe, point, and flex. Point and flex, point and flex. It's a big week. We've got now 1 week out from Yokohama. So the WTS kids are racing this weekend, the short course Olympians. And then the week after, we have 70.3 Chattanooga North American Championships. So we've got lots of triathlon coming up. We're also in the midst of the Giro d'Italia. We've got a couple of ECFIT athletes racing there. But we're just all over the world, just celebrating sport and performance. So just working through the low calf muscle, and just know that everything that you're doing today, those top level pros do exactly the same thing. They pay attention and they take care of their bodies. Okay, so we're on the posterior backside of the body, lateral glute. And just kind of paying attention. If those glutes have been working, they should be a little bit dull and achy. You don't want pinny. If you're working through some piriformis syndrome because those glutes aren't as active or strong as you need them to be, then you're going to feel a little bit more of that pinniness that comes deep, deep into that piriformis. That piriformis is really designed to be a stabilizer, not an active mover. So if you have pinny piriformis as you do this and you feel like you really need to sit on that, just know that you've kind of outmoved and outtrained. You've challenged your glutes to their maximal capacity, and the piriformis kind of took on a new role, and it's not good at it. And that's why if you overwork that piriformis, it can kind of create some problems. So let's just work through that right side lateral glute a little bit. And again, you use your body to unload if it's really, really painful. Unload your body weight a little bit. This is not designed to create a lot of discomfort and pain. You will get a reaction from the front side if you can release the backside, because then the backside will work better. It will function better. Okay, good. Let's get right up into that upper back, and then we'll get into some movement. Okay, up here, let's get the foam roller right below the shoulder blades. Take a nice big breath, elevate your rib cage. We're always talking about creating space between the ribs and the hips. So right there, let's go ahead and just take a nice big breath. Expansion of the rib cage is mobilization. Don't underestimate that power of having a nice mobile rib cage. If you saw this weekend, Christian Blumenfeld, the size of that man's rib cage is massive, and he uses every single cubic inch of his lung capacity to do the work that he does at a lower metabolic cost than everybody else, could be made the argument. Okay, so just nice and easy. You should feel long through your sacrum. So right here, just kind of pull those hips away Hands behind your head to support your neck, and just nice and easy. And then we like to toggle here. So elbow and just moving side to side. This should feel really nice, side to side. And as we move through the back, you're also getting even more space through the front. And that's a big part of the objective here. Okay, good. All right, let's go right into our happy hips sequence. And happy hips means nice wide feet. If you're on a yoga mat, you actually want to have those feet wide enough so they're outside the mat. So right here, outside the mat, and we're just going to drop that right knee in. So we're going to start addressing this back quad here. That knee needs to be kind of right on the midline. So it shouldn't be short. That would be a short knee. You don't want to see the creases in your pants up in the hip joint. You want to just have enough space to where you can pull that hip across and that maybe feel a little bit of quad stretch. And actually I'm getting in a little involuntary glute fire as well. So that kind of starts to talk to how they are partners. And we're just going to lay nice and easy. Just let those hips passively move through that nice range of motion, using gravity to pull the knee down to the ground. Good. And just moving through that range of motion. We're not trying to stretch a muscle. We're trying to achieve a joint position of just nice, easy internal rotation there. Okay, let's take that into our long version of happy hips, where we're going to go onto your back. Feet are still nice and wide. Hands overhead. And now the right knee is going to drop in, and this right rib cage is going to pull all the way across. And we're really reaching through the rib cage, long through the lat. I didn't even train that hard this weekend, and that's massively impactful on this entire side. Okay, same thing, other side. Hip comes across, and then the rib cage comes across as well. Good, you should feel that through the whole side. We're just going to be super patient and hit 3 nice big reaches each side. 2, 2, and 3, and 3, and good. Okay, coming back up to happy hips number 1 position, where we kind of use the seated position. And from here, we're going to go drop the right knee in, and then the right hand is really going to come across, and you should feel that stretch all through the back, all through the upper back. And then bring that to the other side. Drop the left knee in, extend it away, maybe even create a little bit of traction. Reach all the way across. Wall's in the way here. That's all right. Same thing, other side. We're going to hit 3 each side. Drop that right knee in. If you're starting to feel more comfort in that position, you can pull that hip back a little bit and create more length through that hip. Oh, my back is just popping and cracking. I think it kind of needed that. I think it kind of needed it from a whole week ago when I just traveled. Okay, left hip. Let's take that left hip back, and then let's open it up a little bit. And we'll reach across with the left hand. See if you can get that mobility through the lat. If you have tight lats, it's going to show up and start yanking on the hip as well. And it will start restricting your rib cage and your expansion of your rib cage. So don't underestimate this big reach and how it feels through your entire spine and through your upper back and all those muscles up in there. Reach across. Couple big breaths, and let's hit the other side to the left. So the left knee to the middle, open that hip up, nice big reach. Okay, good. All right, so the next thing we want to do is just work a little bit through that SI joint, that sacroiliac joint back here. The pelvis is 2 pieces. We want it to be able to decouple. And so when everything gets tight in the hips and the low back starts to get tight, it will impact the function of the SI joint. So what we want to do is get nice offset knees. Let's get the right foot about 2 inches, 2 to 3 inches max. Do not go into a big giant, it's just too much offset position. It's too much ask, okay? So we're just going a very slight offset, about 2 or 3 inches. Hands are parallel and directly under the shoulders. Head is nice and neutral. Don't drop your head. Okay, so from right here, we're just going to rock straight back. And you really don't have to try to do anything. Your body's going to jump. Because of the offset position of the knees, your sacrum is just going to roll nice and easy. And you may not feel anything, but I promise you, this rolling of the SI joint is a really, really good thing. Just nice and easy, back to front. Good and good. All right, let's go offset the other side. So now the left leg is about 2 inches in front of the right. Hands directly under the shoulders. Nice strong head position. I've got my big toes tucked under. There's a little bit more restriction on this side, right there. So you start to realize, yeah, right side, left side. I wish I could tell you that everybody was the same, but they're not. It's not even the goal. The goal is to make the right side as good as it can be and the left side as good as it can be. We use layers of knowledge in teams, physical therapists, doctors if needed, and then people like me that just work on the front line and just really enjoy that day-to-day athlete interaction. Just nice and easy. Not to say the others don't, but they definitely, their time gets filled up pretty fast. Okay, good. Oh, and good. All right, from right there, let's keep it all on the ground for the most part today. I'm going to go ahead and pull 2 knees into your chest. And from there, there's a little move that you can do to just kind of yank both feet up and create space in your low back. We're shortening the hip flexors so much here that the low back can actually get into a nice flat position and a nice long neutral position. So from right there, we let the feet come down, and we want to create a little bit of tension between the pubic bone and the belly button. That low abdominal contraction, that pelvic floor lift, that's going to help create comfort and familiarity with neutral pelvis. So from right there, let's go into a tabletop position. Maintain that lower abdominal contraction. And through that, we're getting a nice length and comfort. Even though it doesn't feel like a big stretch, you're getting a lot of work in your low back to just be able to hold into that position. From right there, let's put 2 hands on the knees and push the knees into the hands. Little bit of tension from those hip flexors. And then keeping the low back flat, let's bring both feet to the ground. From right here, let's go into the bridge series. So from there, we've got a low belly contraction. It doesn't have to be super hard, just has to be present. We want nice flat hips. That tells us we have neutral pelvis. And from right there, hands to the side, we're going to go into that nice hip lift. So we've got flat hips here. Your hips should not feel pointy. I haven't even done that much work, and my quads are getting a stretch from this glute contraction bridge position. From right here, guys, I want you to anchor in. Bring your knees into the midline. You should feel even more intensity in your glutes. As we do that, let your knees come back out. Pull your pelvis away and lay your low back down on the ground flat. Okay, low back nice and strong. Create some space between the ribs and the hips. See if you can walk your shoulders a little bit further away. From right there, flat hips, flat back. That means I can't get my hand under my low back right now. From right here, pull your heels so they're directly under your knees. Little bit of low abdominal contraction. Let's go into an anchored position with the fingertips. Wrists off the ground, elbows off the ground. Hips up nice and strong. Strong length. Length through your hip joint right here. Good. And let's drive those knees into the midline. Keep the hips nice and strong. Take a big breath. See if you can find even more length between the ribs and the pubic bone. You're trying to get as long as you can without losing length on the backside. Yes, you can have it all. Keep those knees in. Oh, hamstring cramped on the left. Oh. Okay, take that nice big breath. See if you can walk your hips away or shoulders away from your hips one more time. Nice flat hips. Lots of space between the pubic bone and the just the xiphoid process, the bottom middle of your ribs. We're trying to create as much space as we can through that line. Okay, right there. One more time. Strong fingertips. Nice big breath. Feet are directly under the knees. Lift those hips really far. Create tension between the ribs and the hips. Knees to the midline. Should feel a lot of muscular activity on the back side of the body here. Hold that. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, good. All right, from right there, we know that bringing the knees into the midline, we would call that an anchored position. So we're going to go onto the back side, onto the front side of the body. And what the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and set the anchor. Okay, I'm going to turn all the way around here. We're going to set the anchor on the lower end of the body. That means your big toes are touching, heels are apart, knees are together. So knees are touching, toes are touching, heels are apart, and that is called your anchored position. From right there, directly out from your shoulders, let's put your fingertips. This is from foundation training from Doc Goodman's work, and we're super stoked to have him as part of our world and part of our team. We're going forehead to the ground. And from right there, let's walk the fingertips away. Keep your forehead on the ground. I have to lift mine up to talk. Keep the anchor strong in the back. Your forehead is on the ground. Keep looking down, and I want you to lift your head up. Now lift your hands up. Keep your knees together. Pull your belly button away from the floor as you inhale and exhale. Let's go 3 more big breaths. And hands directly under your shoulders. And let's just press up. Walk your knees in. Push your hips back onto your heels to your level of comfort here. Just, I can get to my elbows. Some of you will be able to just lay flat onto the ground. Now the toes are no longer tucked under, they're extended out. We can work some ankle mobility, even just using our own body weight. Okay, so from right there, let's stay on that quadruped position, that all fours. We're going to take the right arm and just reach directly underneath the left arm. It's a nice big twist and turn of the upper back. Come right back up, other side, nice big turn, but it's supported, so your back may actually give you even more rotation and more mobility. Don't force anything, never force anything. Take what your body will give you, and just a nice big turn here. Good, and then other side, last one. And good. All right, so for those of you who are not part of my premium group where we use mobility, we use light loads to enhance mobility. We call that launch. That also works towards strength endurance. I'd like to invite you to join me for a live session. If you cannot make the live time, you can just get the link by definitely subscribe and follow along with ECFIT Strength here on YouTube. But also leave a comment. I want premium today, and I will personally share the link for the live workout that I'm going to present on Wednesday to my premium group, which will be a foundation training and climb session where we use foundation training principles of decompression, rib cage expansion, and just right left side balance with very traditional strength training movements. So that's going to be a hybrid strength session on Wednesday. All you have to do is say, I want premium in the comments, and I will personally send you the link to the session. Thanks for joining Monday Morning Mobility. I hope you have a great day the rest of the day. Bring a lot of love and joy in the world. We need it. Peace.